time, the indefinite continued progress of existence, and events in the past, present, and future regarded as a whole. It is a measure constructed by man to keep the mind in a prison. Since birth, we've all been contending a race that no one will ever win. The constant struggle of the everyday hustle and bustle just to punch another man's clock. Priceless seconds ticking away till one day you wake up and you're old. There's a ninth dimension beyond that which is known to man. It is a parallel as vast as space and as timeless as infinity. It serves as a meeting point between light and darkness, between science and superstition, religion and politics, and it lies between the pit of man's fear and the summit of his knowledge. For the remainder of this episode, we will journey to the unknown, one time for your mind.
Time for your mind. I'm your host, the International Tate Incorporated, and I'm with my co-host,
Luke.
And today's episode is brought to you by Mama Sugar Shack, Team Tate America, Team Tate Canada, and Green Diamond Rooster Food Products.
Yeah.
So today's episode is actually entitled The Ladder and the Crutch. So let's go into some definition of what these things mean. You know what I mean? What does a ladder mean? What does a ladder do?
Climb the ladder.
Right.
To, elevate to another level.
And what is the purpose of a crutch?
The crutch is there as a support element.
So you probably ask yourself, what do these two things have in common and how does it apply to you? Well, the ladder and the crutch can either be a literal sense or it can be a physical sense. So let's look at it as in applying to an actual everyday situation. Like my brother said, when you have a crutch and somebody's like, I'm tired, I don't feel like doing something, or I can't do something, blah blah blah, or I was going to do it, but my boss man or my boss woman said that. That's a crutch. You lean on something because you don't want to do it. okay? Now the ladder would be, let me get this ladder for you so you can get from point A to point B, so you, like you said, you can elevate to the next level, you know what I mean? I'm all about giving people the ladder versus the crutch. When a person breaks one of their, their lower limbs, they give them a crutch to walk around, blah, blah, blah. Once the leg is healed up or whatever the case may be, why would you still need that crutch? You know what I'm saying? You need it as a reminder. You want it in your corner somewhere, in your closet somewhere, get rid of it, send it to the Goodwill, you know what I'm saying? The purpose is served, and it's time to move on to something else. In everyday life, people, so like, you ever seen a fight somewhere? Let me give you an example. You've been in a fight somewhere, seen a fight, and you're like, hey, hold me back, hold me back. That's that crutch situation. If you really knew that person really wanted to fight, and it was about their life, give them the ladder so they can get point A to point B, you know what I'm saying? Let them have at it, you know what I'm saying? Because if you really wanted to get at this person, me holding you back ain't gonna stop somebody from getting to you, you know what I mean? And so we got several examples here. I'm gonna give you one, and he gonna give you one about how we seen this in everyday life. So, I work on a plantation. Now, I won't say what particular plantation it is, but I work on a plantation, and you hear people have been there like 20 years, right? And you're like, why y'all still doing the same thing on the floor that you was doing when you came in versus when I came in after you, and less than a year, I was the manager or the boss man over you. And you hear them use the crutch thing. Well, I'm in it for the insurance, right? The insurance is great, and you know, I'm okay right here, blah, blah, blah. And now they're 50 years old, and they can only do one job, and they can't move on somewhere else. And meanwhile, their employer is looking like, you know, this person is a hazard to the company. What if you fall or get hurt or something like that? Now I gotta pay you, you know, compensation, workers' comp, blah, blah, blah. And depending on how long it is, how long the repair is, this person is probably going out on retirement, and you've lost a worker for 10 years right there. Like I said, that's my personal situation right there. I'm sure he can tell you, what is an example you've seen where somebody was actually using the crutch versus using the ladder to elevate themselves?
Man, to be frank, you know, I also work on the plantation as well, you know, and I withhold the information of what employment it is. But a similar situation where I've known a guy who's been with the company for not 60 years, but he's 60 plus years old, and he's been with the company for over 30 plus years. And you know, not to put his business out there, but I you know, we talk on a daily basis, you know, and I asked him one time, I said, man, why is it that you don't want to advance? Why is it that you don't want to climb the corporate ladder to that next level? You know, you're clearly worthy of being promoted to that level 2 position, yet you choose to stick around as a level 1. That doesn't make sense to me, you know. And his response is simply, I'm waiting around for my retirement. I don't want the added responsibility. But you want the extra pay. You want the extra pay. That's the problem with society. In today's society, which they want more, but they don't want to do more. That does not compute. If you want more of something, you have to work harder at it to achieve it. You know, doors don't open themselves. You must first extend your hand and put forth the effort to open the door. Simply put.
Right, so in that sense, that'll be like the ladder. When you want to open the door and you extend your hand, you're taking the ladder method. Let's go closer to home for the ones that are in relationships. Maybe you're married or whatever the case may be. And I personally don't know any marriage out there or any relationship that's perfect. Matter of fact, if you're in a perfect marriage where you never had an argument, or you're in a relationship where you never had an argument, I'm not talking about physical, just say a verbal argument, then that relationship probably ain't real, okay? Because nothing is perfect. The vehicle you're driving, if you have one, the shoes you have on, if you have some shoes on, nothing's perfect. Even our symmetry is body. If you look at yourself in the mirror, maybe your ear is higher than the other or something like that. We don't know, but it's not something to look at. It's not going to stop the progress from you going from point A to point B, taking the ladder method and moving on up. You hear the terminology, he or she climbed the corporate what?
Ladder.
Okay? That's them elevated. They never say, well, he climbed the corporate crutch. Or when he get off the crutch, he's gonna cry. No, it don't even make any sense, you know what I mean? So relationship, if you want something to work in your relationship, you have to take the ladder method, you know what I mean? Don't use the crutch. Well, my friend or my mama said this, or my daddy did this, or I've never done this before. It's not gonna go anywhere. There's no cookie cutter foundation or shape when it comes to relationships or marriages. Everybody's thing is just as different as your fingerprint on your hand right there. And you gotta take that into accountability. What works for you may or may not work for somebody else, but it doesn't mean that you have to take the crutch. Let me just sit around here and see what Dr. Phil says on TV and see how that applies to me. Or let me sit here and watch As the World Turns, or Guiding Light, or CSI, or Law and Order, or whatever's made up from some writer somewhere who's writing a script and these actors are acting it out like puppets. Are you somebody's puppet? What are you doing to elevate yourself from point A to point B? We were boys at one point, now we're men. There's only one direction of time, and that time is straight forward. No matter what you do or how you do it, you can never reverse and revert the hands of time. Will you ever become a boy again?
No.
It's not gonna happen, you know what I'm saying? The shortest period of your time you spend as a boy, okay? You're a boy from 1 to 10 years old. You're a teenager from 11 to 18, and from 18 for the rest of your life, you're a grown man or a grown woman, okay? And if you're lucky enough to get past the age of 21, because we all know people are dying nowadays before the age of 21, am I right or wrong?
Right.
And not only is that happening, it's cool. It's cool to go out here and die. I don't know what's happening out here.
Probably some challenge or something on YouTube.
And then necessarily that, you know, everybody wants to be something that they're not. You know what I mean? You want to be a gangster. Everybody's a gangster until, you know, you're in a situation where you have to do some gangster stuff, and now you're like, hey, you know, time out and all that stuff like that. If you go by your local cemetery right now, and this is the ladder method. If you just get out your vehicle, or maybe you walk there and look around, look at how many small caskets or small grave plaques or plots that are out there in their graveyard. Now ask yourself, if those people can get out their graveyard and do something different to keep from getting themselves there, would they do it? Maybe you have a loved one right now, and you would give anything in your power just to call them up and talk to them one last time, and then tell them you love them before you get off the telephone. Don't let anybody stop you from climbing your ladder. And if you have a crutch in your life, whatever it might be, I think you need to take that thing and turn it into a ladder if you must be. Ladies and gentlemen, this is all the time we have for today. It was a short episode, but hopefully this reached out and touched some of y'all that needed to hear this. I know I hear these things, and I need to hear these things, and I often play these episodes back to me to see what we've done wrong or done right. Please like and subscribe, drop a comment, reach out to us.
Tap that bell so you can stay up to date with all the latest updates.
And like I said, if you'd like to become a sponsor, once again, you can reach us out. You can reach us in the inbox, or you can reach out at www.teamtateamerica.com or teamtatecanada.com, or you see the Cash App located at the bottom of the screen right there, or maybe at the top of the screen. Donations are always necessary. It's from donations and proceeds like you to keep these episodes on the air. And once again, I want to give a very, very shout out again to Mama Sugar Shack. She's feeding us behind the scene. The company's feeding us behind the scene. And if you want to reach Mama Sugar Shack, how can they reach them?
Reach out to Mama Sugar Shack at mamasugarshack.com, or Facebook as well, Instagram, Twitter, at the same name, hashtag Mama Sugar Shack, or 912-330-4242.
What's that number again?
912-330-4242. Just for you.
So that number's at the bottom of the screen right there, and the website's at the top of the screen. Make sure you reach out to that. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, once again, if you got a great idea or a subject, we'll listen to anything. Other than that, man, 1 time for the mind, 3 times for the grind. We'll catch y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.
1 time for your mind, 1 time. 1 time. 1 time for your mind, 1 time. 1 time. Break free of the box.
that keep your thoughts confined. Concentrate to hear the message through the rhymes. One time for your minds, pry your eyelids open, don't ignore the signs. Late take chime in with his peace of mind. Message spreads to all, to beware the times. One time for your mind, one time. One time. One time for your mind, one time. One time. Break free of the box and keep your thoughts confined. Concentrate and hear the message through these rhymes. One time for your minds. Pray your eyelids open. Don't ignore the signs. Let take chime in with his peace of mind. Spread this message to all, to beware the times. One time for your mind, one time. One time. One time for your mind, one time. One time. Break free of the box that keeps your thoughts confined. Concentrate to hear the